on, everybody? It's Jeff Grammer with the ABQJournal, and I am, 57 minutes away from tip-off in the pit. We got Fresno State, UNM Lobos in the Mountain West game tonight, and I am joined by someone from the coaching staff tonight. Got a special guest, Scott Waterman. Scott, thank you for joining us.
Jeff, pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us and all your support of Lobo basketball.
It's been an interesting season because obviously for you guys approach a season in certain ways, right? You guys are getting players ready, your game time, you guys have schedules. For us, we're just trying to get to know the team, and we're trying to know the coaches. We're trying to get to know everybody, and before you know it, we're here 7 games into league play, and I think you guys seem to know what you're doing a little bit. You guys are doing pretty good. I mean, you have to be happy to a point, to a certain extent. You have to be happy with where you guys are right now. And I imagine you also feel like you've left some stuff on the table.
Yeah, without question. You go into a season, and when you have 14 new guys and it's a first-year head coach and really no familiarity with what's going on, it's a process of putting it all together. And I think if you had told any of us we'd be 14-4 overall at this point in time, I think we would all take that in a heartbeat. Sure. And yeah, when you talk about leaving things on the table, you can look at our 2 conference losses, both on the road, and I think they were both learning experiences for us. You take that Boise loss. We probably don't sweep Air Force and Colorado State if we don't have that adversity of going on the road and what it takes to be against a more physical team. And then obviously the tough one Saturday against San Diego State, where you put yourself in position against, a team that was picked to win the conference, to win the game in the last couple of minutes, and just had a couple things not go our way. But I think that gives our guys confidence to know that we can play with anybody in the conference, and that when the push comes to shove, we're going to be right there in the thick of this Mountain West Conference Championship race.
I would say, and I don't know what this speaks to at all, but my observation is you guys have not yet had a long sort of extended sort of lull in a game. Now, the first half against Nebraska might kind of contradict that. You guys had a horrible full half, I think. I do think there was a little bit of an extended stretch towards the second quarter, basically, the second half of the first half on Saturday. But, if you look at things, you guys aren't getting too emotional where you're getting too high and, are going on these just super dominant, 30-3 kind of runs where you're just going things out. You guys have just been steady throughout, and I think there's a mindset to that is good because your lows aren't really extended lows very often either. I don't know if that's something that you can identify within a team when you see if it's a mature team, if it's just a team that's not overly emotional, or what it is. But you guys don't let the high. Coaches always say this stuff, but your team is bought in to not getting too high, not getting too low. What does that speak to?
At first, it speaks to Coach Olin and his temperament. If you were to come to a practice and that's the way he is. I've been around coaches that are very high strung, always yelling and screaming, been on some that are more silent, and he is who he is every single day, and he coaches the guys, and I think that there's a lot to be said for that. And despite having 3 freshmen, we have a very mature group. Even our freshmen are very mature in how they handle themselves, and when you've got guys like Luke Hopt, Chris Howell, Dayton Albury, Javis Miller, Antonio Chol, Milos Vicentic, who's been in college for 4 or 5 years, that adds something to it. And, it fits who they are personality-wise, but it's also a testament to who they are as players and the success that they've had throughout their careers.
You've been at this long enough at different levels and different stops where I'm curious how you coach a team this old and this mature. How do you, is it different than a bunch of youngsters? It's got to be somewhat different. But do you guys let up a little bit when you have so many 23? You have a bunch of guys that can rent a car. You guys have a really old, mature group, and I'm just curious at what changes in the coaching and the preparation.
I think in terms of the preparation and coaching, nothing changes. You have to keep coaching them every single day, just like you were from day one. Because the one thing that, again, being in this long enough to know, the kids are smart. They can feel you. They can tell as coaches. They can read into you. So you have to be the same person every day. We have been essentially the same, how we handle our preparation, how we handle practices, and that's not going to change with coach. And our guys know what to expect every day, what they're going to get, and I think it helps having that consistency every single day, from coach's mentality to just our schedule and preparation.
Sure. I think you guys too have in your two freshmen, the more traditional freshmen, I will say, like, I don't want to just totally discount Tomasov as a freshman. He is in a different country, away from home for the first time in his life.
Yeah.
And he's 23. It's not like he's a 40-year-old guy. Like, he is away from home for the first time. There are some freshman growing pains that he's going through. Just because he's 23 doesn't eliminate that entirely. But let's talk about the two more traditional freshmen, straight out of high school. Uriah Tenet and Jake Hall are guys that, how the heck were they as ready as they were for D1? To get guys that ready, you usually get one freshman out of every, I don't know what the number is, but like to get two of them to be this big a contributor from day 1 to day 15, day 18, whatever game we're on. How does that happen? It's just kind of a little bit of luck, right?
I don't know if it's luck.
Well, they identified it, obviously.
Yeah,
they recruited it.
And I think that's what made Coach Olin, and for those who don't know, his success at UC San Diego really good is his ability to evaluate guys. And they took guys that were, I wouldn't say off the radar, but not as recruited as highly as they should have been, and made them into really good players. And the same here. He was able to, again, I wasn't around with him as they recruited those two guys to UC San Diego, but he saw the potential that they had. And in their, 7-8 months since they've been here, since the summer, he's already magnified that probably more than we thought could be possible. And if talking about freshmen have a tendency to make some glaring mistakes.
Yeah.
And these guys, just their basketball IQ doesn't lend them to do that. Like, you don't get me wrong, they're not flawless by any means, and we're coaching them on things. But the glaring mistakes that I've seen in 24 years that freshmen make, they don't make. And that's a testament to how they've been coached before they got here, and just the savvy they have as basketball players.
I'm still blown away every now and then by Jake Hall being more than a shooter. And I shouldn't be at this point. I should be over it, but I'm still not. He has a head fake about him that I don't know how so many people haven't seen it on film by this point.
Yeah.
But he gets people up in the air so often. I don't know what he's doing that is so remarkable with it. I know he's been doing it forever since he was in high school, but like his I call it the Jake fake or the Jake fake or something, but like his head fake is remarkable.
Yeah, and I think, when you have a shooter that's as good as him, people are, regardless of where he is, they're going to contest the shots.
Because they're in their mind, shooter.
Yeah, and that's what their scouting report says.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that we don't really talk about with Jake is his defense has improved a lot. How physical he is. He's able to slide his feet and keep guys in front of him. Against Colorado State, when we went to a little bit more the full deny on Rex Steiner and Pasquarelli. He was one of the guys that we had in that spot, and he was great. And again, it's just a testament to the complete player that he is. And some of the things that people just see him as a shooter, there's other small facets of his game that really stand out in the coaching staff eyes.
I mean, he's very much Tomasov as well, but he's very much in the running, approaching the midway point of league play for a freshman of the year honor, and that's remarkable to have two of them really that are in the running on this roster. So, all right, I want to ask you, first of all, let me get to Richie. Richie, I see you. What's up, my boys? Richie, thanks for being on. I'm glad you'll be cheering on from work tonight. You got to get back to the pit. I think Richie's only been to one game so far this year, I think it was Grand Canyon, if I'm not mistaken, Richie. But obviously a big fan, he just works a lot of nights. So.
Well, Richie, we got to get you back to some more games.
Right?
If you were getting Grand Canyon, you are a good luck charm. Get a few more of those.
That is a good one to know right there, and a good, really good one to know. All right, we got the status on how Chris Howell is out tonight. Will he be back sooner? There's yes. The plan is yes. He has told me he anticipates he'll be back at some point. Last time I talked to Eric, no official timetable. I don't know that you can add anything to it, but anything you can say about Chris' oblique injury, obviously you guys want him back. But.
Yeah, it was an injury that we want to be very careful with because you don't want to re-injure it. And he's progressing in his workouts, and hopefully sooner rather than later.
You guys have plenty of coaches already, but I will say Saturday I noticed how much coaching he does from the bench. He's obviously Mikey Howell's brother. He's obviously a coach in waiting in some respects himself. He'll be on the bench somewhere at some point. He knows the game, and he's going to be a coach, obviously. So he was out there. He was making plays, making sure players were on the same page. So you guys lost a guard for the time being, but you guys added another staff member. So.
Yeah, I'd prefer to have him as a player versus a coach, though.
All right, John Romero is in. John is saying must win game tonight. We need to take care of business and sharpen up for Saturday against Nevada. Word on the street is that a victory against the Lobos on the road is a top priority for the Wolfpack. I would agree with that. It's a top priority for just about anybody because right now a true road win for a 40 RPI team is a quad 1 win. So, I would say target is on your back.
Yeah.
Before we talk Nevada, let's talk to these guys just a little bit.
Yeah.
What can you tell us, and what can you tell people that are going to be here at the game or watching from home about Fresno? What's sort of the top overgeneralized scouting report kind of bullet point?
Yeah, so their leading scorer is Jake Heitberger, number 3, really good shooter.
He's had some good games against the Lobos in the past.
Yeah, so he started off at Air Force, played there for 2 years, transferred to Clemson, but was more of a role player there and has come back to Fresno to kind of be the guy, and he plays a lot of minutes. Really good shooter and straight line driver, so priority number 1 is we have to do a great job on him.
I don't know what the similarities to Jake Hall are other than this. People that remember him at Air Force as just being a shooter, he's doing more like Jake Hall is. Jake Heitberger is more than just a shooter.
Yes.
And I don't know how well he is at defense. I know he has some steals, but I don't know how good he is overall at defense, but he is more than just a shooter. At Air Force, I think he was probably just a shooter.
Yeah. And again, I don't know the past, but he's a guy that is run. The show goes through him, so we have to do a great job containing him, know where he is on every possession. And the guy that makes them run, Zion Collins, number 10, I guess you just found out a few minutes ago, he's now on the injury report. He did get hurt against Wyoming, but we're assuming he's going to play.
Yeah. He is just listed as questionable.
Yeah. He has averages 5 assists per game, really is a good guy, good guard getting to the paint.
The former 5-star recruit.
Yeah.
I mean, he was way
Bishop
up there.
Gorman, yeah. And we have to keep him out of the paint because he creates everything. And then they have a big kid from France who's a freshman, 7-footer, number 16, Jock, who's really good around the basket, has a soft touch. And when you're 7 feet, we have to do a great job making sure we block him out, not allowing him to get position. And then offensively for us, I think they've risen up the ranks. Now they're a top 3 defensive team in the conference. They do a really good job in the gaps, and that means we have to move as players and move the ball. And if we can do that, we've had success in the past. And we can't be stagnant, get them moving, and that'll allow us to get open looks for our guards.
I do see where they've sort of allowed teams to score is at the rim. You guys had a lot of success against the San Jose State that had the same sort of, I guess, point disparity or distribution, rather, would be a better way to say it. They give up a lot of points at the rim. Can you guys want to take advantage of that, regardless of who the opponent is? But when you see a team that is a little vulnerable there, maybe, do you do anything different, or is it really not about that with you guys? You guys do what you do every time, regardless of opponent, and better if you can, but in some regards, but you don't really change a whole lot.
No, we don't change a lot, and it's just a point of emphasis of and a lot of it comes down to how they guard ball screens and how they guard penetration. And we talk with our guys. We use a phrase: "Don't miss the moment." And when you get into the paint, don't miss the moment. Is that making the wide open layup, taking that shot, or if the defense collapses, making the right decision and the right pass? And you can't miss the moment. And whatever that is for that particular play and situation, we need to take advantage of. So it doesn't impact how we change. We addressed it. We told our guys that they give up 58% from twos, but it's not like something that alters what we're going to do tonight.
Let me bring in one more quick. Richie does say if you guys can negotiate with Walmart, the overlords at Walmart, to let him go to games, he will be eternally grateful for us. So we'll see what we can do. We'll go check with the Waltons and the bosses over at Walmart. All right, we can wrap it up with this. I know that you got some work to do. This is a game, obviously. Again, outsiders see a big point spread. They see a Fresno State that in the past several years hasn't been very good, and they see you guys playing really good. How do you approach a game like this? And how should fans approach a game like this? Because this is a team that's good enough. It's kind of how I tell people. It's like Fresno State's a little bit dangerous right now.
Yeah, no, they definitely are. They've won 3 out of 4 games. They're starting to play their best basketball of the year. And like us, I should say, not like us, but they have 10 new guys that are freshmen and sophomores. They don't have a large upper class, which has helped us kind of smooth the transition in. But they're playing their best basketball, and for us, it's about win or lose the last game. How are we getting better for the next game? The basketball season is a marathon; it's not a sprint. And if you start going backwards, you're going way in the wrong direction. So we took this San Diego State as a growth opportunity, and now we keep getting better going forward, and we have to use this game to take that next step.
We do got somebody saying that he is thinking this could be a defensive struggle in a lot of scoring, or are we going to see this in the 50s? I know they're really good at defense. I know you guys are obviously a really good defensive team, number one in 10 conference league play. I don't think this will be in the 50s, though. I think it'll be a little bit higher than that.
No, I would say 70s, 80s. Yeah. We should get up in the 70s, 80s.
All right. I will ask one other thing. How often have you heard end of drive decision? That's a phrase I have heard more this year from Eric Olin than I think I've ever heard covering basketball. End of drive decision seems to be one of his go-tos.
Yeah.
Is that one of his go-tos?
That is a very important point in our scouting reports. Yeah. Every game on our offensive side of the ball is kind of like the miss the moment. That's kind of like goes right along with it in terms of end of drive decision. When you get in there, what are you doing, who you seeing, and making the right decision.
When you were a head coach, just as not even a full year ago, you were still head coach. Did you have any go-to phrases that you didn't even realize, but as the season wore on, you realized that's a phrase I use a lot?
Yeah, we used to say, so we really put a big emphasis on our defense. And so we ball pressure, we press, and we got to the big thing was we want to fly around. We had a lot of interchangeable pieces. So if they drove baseline, we were going to rotate and everybody was going to fly around to get the next man, try to get a steal. Yeah, that was probably the big one. I'm sure if you ask my former players, they probably had about
4 or 5 right away.
They would have it nailed completely. So,
all right, Scott, I appreciate it.
No problem, Jeff.
I know everybody that's starting to get to know you guys is just loving this team right now, and still a long ways to go, though.
Yeah, no, definitely, and we appreciate everyone's support. Hopefully we take care of business tonight and just keep this ship rolling. And we have a really good team, and we're excited about it. We haven't reached our ceiling yet.
I would say, yeah, I can see you guys. I can see areas where you guys can improve, and I can see this league as being one that there's no reason you guys shouldn't be still working to win it, because you guys are in the running, and why would you stop now?
Yeah, so. And it's anybody's ballgame, like you said. It's 5-6 teams that are right there in the thick of it at top, and you can't take anybody for granted on any given night.
Appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you very much. All right, we got. Thank you, Scott Waterman, for joining us in the pregame. And we got now a question here. Mr. Grammer, what type of crowd tonight? I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to be 14,000, but 12, 13,000, I could see that. Let me do a little grammar vision here and show you guys the guys working out just a little bit, warming up. I will give you a different look, too, so you guys don't have to stare at me as much. Let's try this look here. All right. So what kind of crowd tonight? Obviously, so far, nothing. There's still 40 minutes away from tip-off. But I would tell you that I would expect 12, 13,000 tonight for a weeknight. Red Panda's in the house, though. So with Red Panda here, who knows? Maybe it'll be a pretty big crowd. I'm excited about Red Panda being here. John, I did skip over yours. Sorry about that. John on YouTube is saying, I personally like to see Vicentich worked in part of the rotation. What say you, Grammer? I would say this about Milos. Milos Vicentich is a guy that they absolutely love his offensive game, and I think they have some worries about his defensive game. So depending on the matchup, when he is in, they need other guys. I guess they need to feel comfortable that a big isn't going to just abuse him down low, right? So if he's the big man in, they have to feel All right, what do we got here? On my end, pit Wi-Fi just said it went out, but I still see myself, so I'm going to keep talking. Go Lobos. We got to go Lobos here. We got David Thompson on YouTube is saying, some people are saying this could be a trap game, especially after our emotional loss to San Diego State. I don't see it. Lobos will cover easily. I like the matchup at the rim. I just think the Lobos at the rim and on 2-point offense, I do think the Lobos should be fine. Now, they're due a thud. They aren't going to be on top of their game all season long. I do think the Lobos in the next handful of games are probably going to have an off night, right, where they're beatable. I'm not saying they're going to lose, but I do think where they're beatable. I'm not predicting that tonight's that night. I would predict that tonight they do win comfortably because I think they can score at the rim with enough. I don't want to say with ease, but I think they can get what they want at the rim enough that their offense will be flowing just fine. And they are still the number 1 ranked defense in Mountain West play, above San Diego State, above what UNLV's been doing pretty well defensively, above this Fresno State team that's up to 3rd, I believe it is, in Mountain West play. So, yeah, David Valdez, it is saying bad connection on my end too. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm on the Pitt's Wi-Fi. And there's no hard lines here on Media Row, so it's not really another option. I can't plug into anything hardline wise on this side. Chris Howells, no timeline. He's not playing tonight, but no update. Sorry about that, Victoria. He will be back this year, but they are certainly abundance of caution kind of stuff. They're not rushing him back, and it would be nice to have kind of a little bit more clarity, but I don't know for sure that they have a whole lot of clarity. I really think that they are kind of in a position right now where they want him in March. They want to be sure that he's available in March. I could see this going another week or two. So every loss is emotional. Lobos will not lose. And if they do, it'll be an emotional one. I do think that it was emotional on Saturday. I do like the way that they pretty much said we're not going to take moral victories on this one. I like their approach on it. Fresno State might make it a game early on, but we'll pull away. Fresno State has 2 really good offensive players. Again, I don't know for sure what's going on with Zion Collins. They updated him today. Last night he was not on the injury report. Apparently through walkthrough today, he re-aggravated an injury, which I believe to be a hamstring injury. I'm not entirely sure because he's also had ankle injuries earlier in the year. But when I heard the term re-aggravate, I just assumed it was his most recent injury, which I believe was a hamstring against Wyoming that he missed some time with. But he also had injuries with his ankles earlier. Safe to say he re-aggravated something and walked through today, and they are not 100% that he's going to be playing. They don't have everybody out warming up right now, so I can't tell you. Like if he's warming up is what I'm trying to say. I'll add, too, that if he doesn't play, big loss for Fresno State. He gets them going. 5 assists a game. Great point guard. One of the best in the league. I think because he's at Fresno State, people don't talk about him enough. All right, John is in on YouTube. Wonder if that comment was from the ex-NBA player David Thompson. Might we have a royalty tuning in? Yes, I would say absolutely. A lot of NBA stars, current and former NBA players tune into the Jeff Grammer pregame show, sponsored by Sandia Sportsbook. I'll give them a shout out while we're doing this. But yeah, I think I'm really, really big in the NBA circles for my pregame in the pit. I'm going to stick with that, by the way. All right, guys, so like I said, we are now 35 minutes away. I'm going to start wrapping up now. Fresno State at New Mexico. We're at 14.5 point is the spread right now as I look at DraftKings updated odds on just via ESPN. 14.5. I wish I knew if Zion Collins was playing. He is listed as questionable, and that was a late add to the questionable to the injury report. He was not on that injury report as of last night in the initial availability report. He's just been added since walkthrough today when something happened today. So Fresno State as a full body is not out here. They got Jake Hybrider out here shooting. Let me give you some grammar vision. Moving of the camera. And we got Jake Hybrider here. If you look down here, the coach, Pete Gillen's on the call tonight for CBS Sports. Got royalty in the house, and it's not just Red Panda. We also got Pete Gillen. So there you go. All right, guys. I appreciate it. 33 minutes until tip-off in the pit. Fresno State, UNM, Red Panda at halftime. How are you not already here if Red Panda's coming? Come on, guys. Red Panda coming. And what else we got? ABQJournal.com for post-game coverage, game story, post-game video. Tomorrow morning, there will be an Emptying the Notebook column, as there is the morning after every regular season UNM Lobo game. And look forward to hearing you guys' feedback. Look forward to covering this game. Look forward to seeing Red Panda, really.